Hi, guys. Good morning. Just woke up, getting through some stuff here. But let's see, yesterday, this is GameStop yesterday, touched all the way down. Unbelievable numbers. 1994 closed out at. And the after hours is this shaded area. And then this is the overnight market. Overnight market peaked all the way up to 2037, I believe. Yeah, 2037. And then touched all the way down before we opened the pre market to 1960. Pushed down on GameStop. Then got to 1962 right here, and then started this run all the way up to what you see right now, $20.31 or whatever. Okay, so let's look at this from a different viewpoint. Let's go to daily. So there are these support lines, these trend lines that we've had for days and days and days, the last year, over the last year. And we held this trend line, and then we finally fell through. Right, and as we fell through, we found a bottom. We found a specific support point right here. But this right here, it looks to be the low, right? But there's this thing that's happened before. So in the past, we had a push. We had this bullish pennant that we were holding at one point right here. You see it? This was our bullish pennant we were holding before. And then when it fell below reality, somewhere where you thought it could never get to. This is when it was like around $12. We're already saying, hey, great value, you should buy it. Book value of 4.5 shouldn't be $12. It should be everything, right? We should buy it. Fell down. GameStop came all the way down to $9.95. Everybody knows the story. And then it ricocheted off the floor and out of the park. So when it falls out of that bullish trend, I call it a bullish trend because it's a bullish pennant of some kind, right? We had this downward channel, and then it fell below where it should have gone. Goes out, it takes off. So we're doing the same thing. Let me show you the daily here. We fell out, which is fine. And a lot of people will see the fallout here. We fell out, and then we hit the floor, went up green, came back down, retest, but then it just retesting the true bottom, gone. And the reason this happens is because options become extremely cheap. The volatility that's coming to you is going to ricochet off this floor. Is 1995 the new 995? I don't know. But if it keeps coming down, just know that we're going to get to that point of a rocket out of here, out of this zone. This happened before. I think this is why Roy and Kitty could time things, because the actual true pennant, just so that we're fully transparent here, this was coming like this. So we don't have to use the peak of it all. We can use the trend line that touches the most points. So if you were going like this and you were watching GameStop and you're like, you know what? I see it for what it is. I think it's something like this. We're testing the roof. You found the bottom at 995, which previously was the high right there. So that's your bottom. And the reason why, because previously it was your high. The last time that GameStop ran up, that was your resistance, came all the way down, took off out of the sky, ended up being your support now. Okay. Support, boom. So no different here. As we ricocheted off the floor, we knew we go, okay, that's our support, boom. But you actually had this other line, higher lows. You actually had this way. Okay. So we had found the support at 995. Now we have this bullish pennant. Now you have a bullish pennant where your bull flag is all the way up to the top, push down, the compression hits, and we end up taking up, you take off out of the pennant. Now, I've shown you so many times out of these stocks that show this pennant, and it plays out perfect. Plenty. Here's the thing. Right now, in this new one, accelerated timeline, you're doing the same thing. You have this top side, and we could do it this way. We can go up here. It wouldn't matter. I don't really care where we go with it. This is your pennant. You're reaching the top. You have your support. Don't lose your support. It's here. And you were here at one point, right here, to say that this was our trend line and we were going to keep it. We broke down below it. Now we ricochet out of this zone. Boom. Because the truth is, this one here is the 6-year pennant. You're really looking at something like this. You're coming across this whole timeline and you might just be seeing the bigger picture of it all. The bigger extension, this one, you might see a true pennant the whole way through. Pennant on pennant on pennant. And we call this a bag of Doritos. Dorito. But either way, you're going to break out right in here. At some point, we're going to break out. So we should be breaking out. I know people put it at March for that earnings report. Could be early, could be the next earnings report. But you're going to break out. You're going to be somewhere in the 200s, 100 to 200, almost all the way up to 300. It's going to be bouncing out of here. And we'll be playing in a new Dorito land. And that's how I see it. But, what are the giveaways? What are the talking points? This market is doing nonsense, whether it be NVIDIA. I'd even tell you Palantir, Carvana. There's so many other valuations that don't make sense on the market, but it's okay. I can live with it. I want to talk about something that's called Blue Owl. When we talked about Blue Owl, I pointed out like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, where they had made an announcement 2 weeks ago that they were going to merge one of their funds into their original fund. They were going to fold into it. And the public fund, because there's a non-public fund and a public fund, the public fund was going to go ahead and fold into the non-public fund. In the public fund, everyone's going to have to take a loss of around 80 or 20%. I'm so sorry. They're coming in at 80 cents to the dollar. And they were willing to merge because they claimed it was liquidity. But there's nothing to see here. Well, after they had their meeting and after they told the investors what they're going to do, big boys came in and said, we're not doing it. And this is why. Because Blue Owl was going to freeze redemptions. We're going to allow you to pull your money out all the way up until 2026. Locking up money like that and having people not pull out and the market's at all-time highs blows my mind. I don't understand. What could you be leveraged on? What is it that you're upside down on that people can't pull their money out? Where is your money? When I read into Blue Owl a little bit more, it says here that they're invested into mid-cap companies and small-cap companies. And I'm saying to myself, oh, you're short in this market. Like, that's the way I see it. But someone out here in Never Never Land, the land that they don't want to talk about, transparency, pay attention. Someone is short this market. Because if the market is long and that's your collateral to your short, you wouldn't be freezing up money in the longs. It's just not possible. These are the things that Wall Street won't tell you, and these are the things that these hedge funds won't explain. There's zero transparency out here. You're just sitting here waiting for the inevitable, waiting for the rocket for GameStop. Sure. I mean, are they short GameStop? I don't know. I just know this market can't hold up much longer. There's not enough energy. There's not enough chips. There's not enough demand. There's not enough cash. There's not enough smoke and mirrors to keep this thing floating higher than what it is. GameStop at $20 a share, $20.15 right now, guys. Market cap of $9.03 billion. Right now. They have more cash and Bitcoin than $9 billion. They're approaching $11 billion with the warrants in your hands. Until you give me value for $11 billion on GameStop, this is the biggest discount and value investment you'll ever find in your lifetime. This lifetime. And I'm in it. And I'm happy to be in it. So I'll keep buying. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And I lose zero conviction when I see the markets start doing things that don't make sense. GameStop, plenty of sense. 27 PE ratio, make plenty of profits, almost $600 million of profit this year they will be making. And you got to give that value, $600 million per year. Give it a multiple. I don't care what it is, but throw that multiple on top of the cash they have, please. Once you figure that out, then you'll know that this stock is severely undervalued. Thank you, Ryan Cohen, for everything you do in the background. Unseen, unheard. All the moving parts, I explained it to you guys the other day. I said, a car is made up of 30,000 parts. A rocket's made up of 1.2 million parts. You don't see them all. You just see the end result. Remember that. You might not see everything GameStop's doing, but you see the end result. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. Have a great week, millionaires. It's almost over. Peace.